thank you for loving us and watching over us, caring for us. Lord, we pray for the ones that are sick. Lord, there seems to be such an extensive list. Lord, pray for Clayton, the gentleman that was injured at the track this weekend. Lord, pray for him. Pray for, Lord, the family members there. Lord, just ask guidance and direction in this meeting. Just receive all the honor and glory and all we do. Lord, we ask forgiveness of our sins. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody to the August 20, 2019 Winfield City Council meeting. It's good to have a full crew back for the council members. Now Todd's gone for a doctor's visit, so maybe his visit will turn out okay for him. Glad to have Jimmy and Rusty both back with us. 110%, I guess. Both good.
We're here. We're back.
Yeah. The first item on the agenda is approved minutes from the August 6, 2019 council meeting. I need to ask if anybody's got any questions or comments on how the minutes are written. No, I need to ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor? The next item on the agenda is we've got from the hospital, Mr. Hinger, the CEO at the hospital. Chris has asked for them to come to give us an update. He's asked for a meeting for them to come in and kind of tell how the hospital is going. Before I ask Mr. Hinger to speak, I want to, I'd like to kind of remind everybody about this hospital purchase. I don't know if very many people follow the rural hospitals in Alabama. It's a very bad situation for all rural hospitals in the state of Alabama. There's an estimate 20 or 25 hospitals probably closed this year total in Alabama. And everybody, I'm sure, is familiar with how we come about purchasing the hospital, for the city to own the hospital to purchase it, because of it was just a piece of real estate pretty much to the people that was in it before. With the help of the congressman and different ones and putting things into play and try to salvage, I guess, per day, or get things back on track from where they had been negligently handled in different ways in different areas. We were very fortunate, I think, the way we was able to come out with the purchase of our hospital for the purchase price that we got it for. If everybody can remember what we purchased that hospital for. That was through the help, like I said, of the congressman and different ones in Washington and different things. But we need to understand the reasoning for this, for us to kind of seek out to buy this hospital. It's a non-profit hospital now, by the city owning it, but it's kind of, it's kind of on the same lines to me as our school system. And I know you've heard me mention it before 2 or 3 times about how I feel like that it needs to be treated with as much care and respect and support as we do with our city school system. We own the city school system. We support that city school system with a tax revenue that has been passed years ago. Out of the 4% that we collect, the school gets 1.85, I believe it is, that they get from us, plus property tax and different things to help support that school. And we'll appoint those board members on that school board just like we appoint the members of the hospital authority board. We appoint those members to make the right decisions and see to that the things are carried out the way that board feels like that they should, and we put members on those boards that we feel like would be a good person to fill the position of that board. You remember when we passed the board approvals of the ones that's on that board. I say all that to, to go back to the hospital. We passed a 1 cent sales tax to help support that hospital. We need to make sure that we understand and everybody else understands that we didn't buy that hospital to be for profit and make money with that hospital. We purchased this hospital because it's an asset to this community. It's an industry, so to speak. It's just like, it's neck and neck with the same amount of employees as the school system carries. I may be wrong, but it's between the neighborhood of 160 to 180 people that are employed at that school. At the hospital, and I think that's about where we're at the school. The payroll of that hospital is very important to this community. It's just like the payroll of the school is very important to this community. All these payrolls make up what the city can and can't do. If we lose any of those payrolls, it's very hurtful for this city. All cities struggle with rural hospitals. There's not none that don't struggle. As a board, the board works diligently to take and make sure that they've got the right people in place to carry the day-to-day business. And we've got very good employees, which I'm sure Mr. Henry's gonna touch on that probably. We've got employees that's probably been there 30, 35 years, or maybe over 40. And we've got very good people working at the hospital. That was one of the many reasons of purchasing and felt like the city needs to take over the hospital is because of how close it was to looking like Caraway and Birmingham. I don't know if everybody gets a chance to go over there on that side, but that's very well what ours could look like. Snap, that quick. If we hadn't been working as hard and quick as we was to try to keep that from happening. I've always stressed that we need to support that hospital for, it being in the community. It's very hard to get industry. Everybody wants industry, wants jobs, higher paying jobs. And they always, one of the questions is asked, which David Thornell, he's just sitting in the office now, they ask how far is the closest hospital? By us passing that 1 cent tax to support that hospital, regardless of if that hospital was to I don't even like using the word, but if it was to ever fail, if it come down to it, that 1 cent tax would support what's owed, what that hospital owed. That 1 cent tax would take care of that. And I say that where people will understand that we don't take day-to-day money from the city out of our 2.15 that we keep out of our sales tax dollars to help support that hospital. We've got a tax in place that takes to support that hospital. We've got a general obligation warrant. We went in to help to get money to help buy the medical office buildings with the hospital, which that was a no-brainer. That was a very big no-brainer. We've got local doctors that are in those facilities. We do warrants, we do obligation warrants for the school as well as we do them. We just, we had an issue where it's coming up, their warrants supposed to be paid off or was paid off latter part of last year, part of this year. But I say all that to kind of to get a better feel, to make sure everybody understands where we're at kind of with the hospital, as far as them giving a report to do this or do that or whatever, as far as how things is going. I don't really know that is a necessity for us because the city has pledged that 1 cent sales tax to do, that's our part. And as long as that hospital's there, that money's got to go to that institution. But with that said, Mr. Hendrick, if you would, if you've got a few words that you want to say, because Mr. Ballard's been wanting you to come give a report, if you would, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Mayor, there's also a deed that I want to pass on. Is that on the agenda?
Yep, that's fine.
To the
For the clinic.
Dr. Soul's building? Yeah, maybe I can do that first.
Yeah, you can.
This, we own 2 pieces of property, one here in Winfield and one on Gume that were former physician offices. Dr. Christensen was in the Gume office and Dr. Sould was in the office across the street here. And when I first came here in 1991, I interviewed with Dr. Sould in that office, and he was an impressive guy, great community guy, great doctor as well. So that's one of the reasons I came, because of Dr. Sould. We then built a wellness center, and he moved into the wellness center in the bottom floor with Gary Fowler, Dr. Fowler. And then we moved our home health care services into that facility and ran those home health care agency for a number of years. And I think when I left, it was still existing, and somehow LifePoint terminated a lot of our services, and that was one. So I'm hoping it's an asset and not a liability back to the city, but I hope you can find good use for that facility. This is the deed to it, and give it to you folks.
Mr. Hinger, as old as that building is there any EPA problems with the Dr. Sewell's building?
I don't know of any. We're thinking about using it ourselves for a bit, and then we found other places that better suited our needs, but I don't know an awful lot about the mechanics of the building and how well it's been held and upkeep, but I think it's reasonably decent and could serve a purpose if there was one. Share these remarks with you, and I always put my words to paper when I speak to a group, because I want to say what I want to say in the most efficient way. So first off, I want to thank you, and Randy's already said that the city made a big decision and put out a lot of finance to purchase the hospital and the physician office. I believe that you made the right decision. That hospital is extremely important to this town and to any rural community. And I hope that I can do you proud for that decision at some point in time. Secondly, we have a very good hospital, always had and always will. The employees and managers, physicians, nurses, clinical departments, and support departments all have knowledgeable and experienced staff. In spite of the questionable ownership, particularly in the past 3 years, with no really sustained leadership at the top, our employees have sustained the hospital, and it's sort of with one hand tied behind their backs. We have great and loyal employees and middle managers that have held the place together over the past 15 years. Many of these people worked for me from 1995 through 2004. So it was easy for me to come back and win the support immediately. We have several advantages moving forward. We all know each other and make a great team. Secondly, we are a small organization and can move fast and make great things happen quickly. For example, we now have an executive team that is providing the essential leadership to the organization and middle managers. Teamwork and communication is improving, going up and down the organization. We have reworked our mission statement, values, and organizational chart. Getting back to the basics, we've also reworked our job descriptions from the top of the organization and downward to every employee. We are all on the same page in carrying out the essential work of the organization. We have stabilized our ER physician group and now employ 4 very competent emergency physicians under the medical directorship of Dr. Hajar. We are eliminating the use of locums doctors, that is rental doctors. This will ultimately save us thousands of dollars and provide better care to our patients. I expect our emergency department to be one of our star services in the near future. Our financial operation is our biggest challenge going forward. Rural hospitals in Alabama are all suffering losses except for a few. We are aiming to be in that category by year end and are working every strategy to get there. One of the strategies is to operate our own business office. We have given notice to our current vendor that we are disengaging from their contract and are working with them to set up our business office by November. This will not only improve our collections and relationship with patients and families, but will save us hundreds of thousands of dollars each year. We have very few other weaknesses in our operation, and we will continue to eliminate them one by one over the next several months. Our affiliation with St. Vincent's Ascension is essential in our comeback planning. We now have the buying power of the second largest healthcare system in America. In addition, we will be opening a sleep lab in November with a pulmonology group from St. Vincent's. Also, the hospital is contracting with Dr. Andrews' orthopedic group, and we will have 2 orthopedic surgeons on site to see patients and perform surgery. We have also contracted with a group at St. Vincent's to manage our medical and bio equipment. This has resulted in modest savings as well as greatly improved the service coverage. Currently, we are evaluating 2 other contracts with St. Vincent's for food service, housekeeping, and laundry management, and a second contract with maintenance. If these contracts don't provide improved value in terms of service and cost, we will not enter them. We count every dollar spent, and every dollar spent must count. We are tracking significant savings, expenditures, and new income sources. Our goals by year end and entering the new year is to have a balanced budget by 2020, to provide outstanding care and service to our patients, and begin building the trust and confidence back in our community. Bob Robertson has been a great addition to our executive staff and has shown me the 21st century way of marketing our services to the community and building trust through the internet and our website. If you want daily reports on the hospital's activities, visit our website. Lastly, what you can do to help the very business you own. We need your confidence and support. You are the leaders of the city. Speak well of the hospital and encourage your family, friends, and the public to trust our care. They will receive excellent care and service. Don't believe everything you hear in the community about our care. Too often, people have half the story or are totally inaccurate in spreading rumors in the community or on the internet about a patient's experience at the hospital that damages our reputation. If you hear anything negative about the care a patient receives, call me immediately, and I will check it out thoroughly and report to you the truth, good or bad. Believe in us if we are to survive. Thank you.
Mr. Hendry, I'd like to say how much we appreciate you coming back without pay for that while and coming back to help us. I know that's the only reason you came back. We appreciate it.
Well, I've often been asked, why would you particularly buy my own family? And I can only tell you that the reason I came back is I believe in that hospital and I believe in the people. And I'm so glad this city took the initiative to purchase it. And without that hospital, I'll be putting an article in the newspaper, I hope, tomorrow, that will explain in detail why it's important for a hospital to exist in a rural community. I hope that gets in very soon.
Thank you, Mr. Henry.
Thank you.
You know, nothing like Jimmy, we're really appreciative of coming back to step in the CEO role. And I know, I can remember when you were here in the 90s and all the way into 2004 when you left, it played a big part in the community. He loves this community, he cares for this community as well as he does the hospital. So it's definitely an asset to the hospital, us having him here. I guess that we're going to the next item is a resolution for 1246 for Rebuild Alabama Transportation Plan. Is everybody familiar with Miss Ivy's tax plan that she's put in place for the fuel tax money? We've got to pass a resolution to be able to accept this money, our part of it. We have to act on this to when it's some part of it, I think, starts this year. I think the very
4 cents goes into effect 1st of September.
I was thinking, and we have to have this in place to be able to get it put in. So if you need me to read this resolution, I will. Right here, it's real quick. In accordance with the Rebuild Alabama Act signed into law March 12, 2019, the city of Winfield hereby adopts the annual transportation plan to use estimated revenues of $27,486 anticipated for the Rebuild Alabama Act fuel bill funding during the 2020 fiscal year to perform roadway improvements, repairs, resurfacing, reconstruction, or maintenance, and/or as much money as for any state or federal grant funded projects to perform roadway improvements, repair, resurfacing, reconstruction, or maintenance within the existing street or road network during said fiscal year. With that said, I need to ask if anybody's got any questions or comments about this resolution. If not, I need to ask for a motion to approve this resolution. We definitely need the money to go toward paving. Motion. Second. All in favor? You know that, everything, nobody likes taxes, but there's only so much money that comes down on the federal level. Just so much has to be done. As far as where the money goes, there's a lot of big decisions has to be made in Montgomery. I'm kinda, me personally, I didn't really see any other way that they're gonna be able to try to afford to give the money back to the cities and municipalities to do any kind of work that they're doing. Next item on the agenda is the ordinance 970, electronic vote counting devices. We've got to pass this ordinance establishing the use of electronic voting counting devices. Let me read this ordinance, how it's gonna word, how to be worded. It says, whereas Chapter 7, Title 17 of Alabama Code of 1975 and regulation adopted pursuant thereto by the Alabama Electronic Voting Committee provide for the use of electronic voting counting systems, and whereas Section 17-7-21 of Code of Alabama 1975 provides that a municipality may, in its discretion by adoption of appropriate resolution, authorize, adopt, and direct the use of electronic vote counting systems for use in all elections held in such municipality, and that for all elections held subsequent to passage of this ordinance. This is passing this ordinance. Kind of Angie's more up to date a lot of times on this, how this stuff. She has to go to school and in classes on this different stuff, but somebody may be thinking the same way I am. I thought we were already using electronic voting device.
We are, it's the same one every time.
Have to redo it every time that we have.
We won't now, since we passed it as an ordinance rather than a resolution.
You've been having to do it every,
They haven't been doing it every time,
but this here takes care of, and
unless they change the voting machine, which is a DS-200, and it's noted in there. If the machine changes for the county, will change.
yes, got to, now therefore be it resolved by the City of Winfield Council, the City of Winfield, that for all elections to the passage of this resolution, the use of the DS-200, a system which complies with Section 17-7-21 Code of Alabama. So what you're saying is it'd be good until they change, until they change that voting machine. So I need to ask for a motion to approve, and a second to pass this resolution.
Second.
All in favor? All right. The next item on the agenda is fuel bids. Mike, okay, so it's that time of year again to put out for the city's fuel and gas purchases out for bid. I guess they're asking, did you have any discussion, did you have any discussion on this?
We've made a few changes to try to better serve the departments of the city through our fuel purchases. And
Because of
those
the
are,
trouble that Rob and them had before in different places.
yes.
You've got those changes in this.
Yes, sir.
Has everybody got a copy of this? Who's got one copy? If you got, without me having to read through this whole thing,
I can give you sort of a brief summary of changes compared to
I can probably just read, specifications here, can I?
probably the third
I
page.
don't know that this is not, you had sent me, a copy of some changes, but I don't see all those changes in here. You changed it up.
No, that's the same changes I mentioned.
It's in here.
Yes.
Well, we need a copy of that before we vote on it, the changes.
Well, I can probably read it, just not about three changes, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Let me just read this to you right here. See how far it is. Notice hereby given the city of Winfield received sealed bids from prospective sellers of petroleum products on 17th day of September 2019 at 5:30 p.m. All bids shall be hand delivered at 5:30 p.m. Put that on the clock, because that's where you're gonna be. I'm doing it on purpose. You know I'm doing it on purpose. To the city of Winfield City Hall. The city has a regular scheduled meeting of the Winfield City Council for said date and time, and all bids shall be received and opened during the open meeting of the city council. The bid period shall be for 12 months, which period shall begin the first day of October 2019 and shall end the 30th day of September 2020. The bids must be submitted on an enclosed bid response form and hand-delivered in sealed envelope with the following information clearly marked on the outside of the envelope: bidder's name, bidder's physical address, bidder's primary contact name, phone number. Bids must be sealed and delivered on said date and time to be considered. Specifications. The following petroleum products are open to bid: regular unleaded gasoline, 87 or higher octane, ethanol, alcohol blend, ultra low sulfur diesel fuel, non-dyed. In submitting, the vendor must propose an amount of the markup over rack price margin, which is to be added to the rack price per gallon for the above listed fuel. The margin over rack price shall include the following items of cost: hazardous substance superfund tax, oil spill liability trust fund tax, applicable inspection fees, all transportation costs, insurance, and other operating costs, and the vendor profit. The margin over rack price shall not include federal excise tax, city, state, or county taxes, and other taxes that the city is excluded from paying now or in the future. And then it's got a copy, the back copy of the copy. The successful bidder shall be required to provide the city along with a monthly billing statement, the purchase invoice of vendor to verify the rack price used by successful bidder in the building, the city. That's one of the changes.
Yes, sir.
They want a copy of what the rack price is during that billing period. Because they don't have it now, they don't know what the rack price is. The successful bidder must provide the city with all physical locations at which the city vehicle shall be authorized to use to purchase each of the above fuel products. The successful bidder must have one location which is open and fuel pumps operable 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, and able to accommodate all city vehicles. A successful bidder must have one location within half a mile of Winfield City Hall which is open and fuel pumps operable at a minimum Monday through Friday between the hours of 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and able to accommodate all city vehicles. The city expects to pay for purchase within 10 days of receipt of monthly bill. For the purpose of this bid, the local preference zone will be the city of Winfield, and non-conforming bids will be rejected. So that the changes was the rack price and the distance is
The location close to downtown.
yeah.
That will get Bud's, yours, and,
Chevron out there and Chevron over here in Shell.
okay.
They'd get everything with them from Walmart, probably back this way to Bud's and then from.
No, sir, some of those are beyond what the bid states.
Chevron's beyond it.
You currently have Bud's, which is a more petroleum, R&T price oil, which is of course yours. And Max Minute Mart is within that area, but they're not owned by a local fuel distributor.
This Crossroads within the limit.
Crossroads would be a little beyond the half mile from City Hall area.
Now, Max, that's the one we went with this year for out of Vernon, right?
We went
Mid-States,
with Mid-States does not own that store.
but they
And so
furnish the gas.
They do sell the gas to the store, but they can't force the owner to use fuel cards and go by the bid price.
Where are they going to? Have you asked?
At this point, I'm not sure that Max would,
Well, you don't know till you ask.
right.
Well, they stopped us from using that. We were using it to begin with Mid-State,
Uh-huh.
and now they've stopped us from using
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Mid-States is saying they don't own the store, they can't control what the owner of the store wishes to do.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
So
So basically, that just leaves two. I don't like that.
Unless they wanna start letting us use that one again.
yeah, and we hope they would let us, even this year, that Max ownership would work it out where we could. But that's not our decision or Mid-State's decision to make. That would have to be the ownership of Max Men's Park.
Mayor, I'd like to see it expanded further than a half a mile, so everybody that would be interested in bidding would have the opportunity.
Yeah, I would too.
I kind of, you know, but I kind of just, I presented it, how they present it to me. I'd rather y'all make all the decisions. I'm gonna kind of stay out of that hole.
I say 1 mile, extend it out.
That'd take about everybody in a mile.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
city's empty.
Yeah, I don't like just having two. Who owns Chevron up here? Who furnishes gas to Chevron up here by the bank? Do
They own, they first gas leaders and that, and those leaders.
Well, that's a bunch from Halo, isn't it?
No, that's also Mid-States.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
What did you say, Rob?
The problem we have now is there's nowhere close to get diesel fuel right now except the corridor.
What about B&B out there?
Well, that's a different
talking
job
about
right
the
I
now.
know, but I'm talking about if we expand it out, then they might have a shot at bidding it.
Well, I mean, yeah, they can, but the problem is, the only place in town since they closed, since they wouldn't let us get fuel down here
Right.
at this place, was over at the Chevron.
You can't get in there.
And we can't get, well, we can get in there, but our cars won't work. We can't buy gas or anything there. It's been that way for several weeks.
I say we
Well,
expand
I
it.
think an issue too, if you have a backhoe, if you have a tractor, you don't really want to drive it a mile or more to fuel up. And that's sort of where the street department
Right.
has
I
been.
mean, we don't wanna have to drive out here to Chevron to get fuel in a tractor, you know, a mile out there to get fuel, when there's other places. We've been getting right down here at Max for a long time, and then they stopped us. That worked out great right there.
Why did they stop getting it over at the Chevron?
Their card readers quit working over there, and they're in no hurry to get it fixed, I don't reckon. And they won't let us sign a ticket. It'd be simple if they just give us a ticket and let us sign it, you know, if they won't do that, they're not working with us.
The cars don't read it Chevron by the big bank?
Right. They don't.
Mine does.
Well, ours don't.
Mine doesn't work at, Ears.
I mean,
That's why I asked Mike, we talked about it to get it within a half a mile of the shop, where we wouldn't have to drive our tractors that far to fuel up. That's what that was about.
Plus, too, I'm having to go 6 mile all the way to get fuel in that garbage truck. You know, like when I leave on Thursday, you know, I have to go corridor to get fuel to go to West Jefferson and then come back. And then I fill it up on Friday and then make that work Monday, and I'm sweating bullets to get back to the corridor X. So I fill it up for Tuesday, and then I'm sweating bullets again to make it back to fill it up for Wednesday.
Can y'all get in and out at Bud's okay down here?
Sir?
Y'all have any problem
Yeah.
getting in and out at Bud's?
So, we had out of trouble.
The purpose of the half mile is not to exclude any business or include any business. It's simply to allow street department primarily a local source and primarily for diesel for their larger equipment.
You go right by the corridor up there and go to West Jefferson, don't you? Get on the interstate.
Sir?
I said, you go right by the corridor up, the place up there at the corridor where you get the fuel when you go to the West Jefferson.
No, usually what I do is head out 118, go down through 33, get on to exit 34.
I think it'd be better to go the other way, but
We just need to make it fair because our mayor's involved in selling gas and we just need to make it fair. We can't just say that the mayor, since he does got the easiest access and all that, that's why we need to make it fair, because that is a violation, and I'll say it in public. It's not, we just need to make it fair. And like Randy's staying out of it, and I feel like that we ought to make it, do our bids, and if it's, we have to do a mile, then we have to do a mile. Or we can see about getting, you know, a tank put up there at the shop, and have the truck come up there and fill it. How's that work?
I wanted that.
And then they can just fill their backhoes right up there at the shop. Come on, they got it fenced in, locked in. Rob can be the man that oversees the fuel going out.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Something to be discussed.
Mhm.
That'd be something that would be discussed.
Yeah.
I mean, if the mayor wins the bid, then you got the easy access, you got
I,
fuel.
I want to make, don't you know, y'all need to understand that I wasn't in this conversation with Mike.
This was department heads and Todd.
Well, I understand, but I mean, I just feel like
I'm not gonna.
Rob?
Last time I won the bid, except for one particular spot, and I just said, no, I'm not gonna argue with them, have it. You know, it's not worth it to me.
Rob, why don't you check with the distributors and see what it would do? I don't think they'd charge nothing to put the tank up there if we're gonna buy the fuel from them.
Okay,
You know, see how that would work.
yeah, that'd be nice. Needs to be above ground tank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That absolutely above ground, but,
Yeah.
because hadn't there been a tank there before?
There had been a gasoline tank, we had it dug up, everything. There's too many regulations for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did away with it.
We'll have another meeting before we have to vote on it, so.
I mean, that'd be fine, we have a tank over there, that's fine, I just want somewhere close where we don't have to drive a mile to fuel up our tractors and stuff.
I think.
But I mean, we may be over here on the east side of town with it, we don't wanna have to drive all the way over here to fuel up.
I think it might be advisable to the city to purchase the tank instead of
Do
letting
you?
one distributor.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. Well, it'll be changing it out every time somebody
They change.
change the bid.
And you kind of get with him, and get with Rob, see what kind of, how big a tank. So y'all want to table this to the next meeting.
Yeah.
This is all research.
All right, the next item on the agenda, know that, since Todd's not here, I'm going to, well, I can go ahead and do this since we've got it on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is weed and litter, housing, abatement board members. I've got two other board members or two other prospects to be board members on that, and I guess I can go ahead and ask for, if the council's okay with appointing these two board members. We'll still, then we'll like one more after we do that, for a total of 7. Tammy Brazier has showed an interest to be on that. Y'all know Tammy worked with Mary. If the council is okay with it, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept her as a board member with the abatement and weed and litter board.
I make a motion.
Second. All in favor? The other one is, I think for personnel, I get confused, got too much going on mine, but she's a Brazier too, but they're not kin. Yeah, I was gonna say that. The other one's Melissa Brazier. Does everybody know Melissa Brazier?
I don't.
About Alan Brazier's wife.
Yeah. She's a school teacher up here at the school, I think, as well as Alan Brazier, Max Brazier, the other's wife. They live over here on Highland, Fairview.
I'll make the motion.
You have a motion from Anthony, ask for a second to Chris, all in favor? And we'll come back, we'll get with Todd on that, as far as any other business that we've got with those. We can still you know, talk about having a work session on that.
Let me add something right here, if you don't care, Mayor. I called, I thought about this when I was, especially when I was reading this before the meeting. You know, Todd said something about the other day about we didn't need 2 city employees to make the decisions on a lot of this stuff. So, Alan and Packy would be city employees. So I called Hamilton, a friend of mine, Wade Williams, he used to be the mayor up there. He used to do home inspections, but he told me he had bought his daddy's glass company, so he don't do them anymore, but Roger Carr does, that works for the gas company. And I told him, you know, what we was talking about, and he said he'd be glad to do it, but he'd have to see some specifics, you know, exactly what we want him to do. So I think that would be better than 2 city employees, because there'd never be any question about, you know, he's certified to do it and all that.
You know, I don't have a problem with that. We'll get with Todd and make sure we do. I think I can, you know, have an outside party involved, I kind of feel like
I think
I'm always okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, won't take a little bit off, the heat off,
Right.
you know. Yeah, well, that's a good idea. We'll get with Todd and we'll go have this work session and see.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda is old business. Has anybody got any old business?
Randy, it ain't really old business, but I'd like to say this. I just want to recognize all the first responders, because one of our men, Wade McMillan, was up at the racetrack the other night, and he done an excellent job of responding to that accident. And I just want to recognize him for what he did.
He was up there on personal and then responded.
He was up there with the ambulance service.
Okay.
But he's a fireman, and all our responders are firemen and all that. They do an excellent job, they're police officers. But I was real proud.
We got good crews on all of it, people, we've had people they make remarks about why you got the whole army there when something happens, and I think the reason behind all that is to make sure that somebody gets there first, because it's a first responder, you know. If I'm in dire need, I would like the whole army to come and help get me, you know, but we've had issues where a 911 call go out to a particular, this was prior, but go out to a particular department, and they couldn't get there as quick as somebody else from another department. And we've had issues where near loss of life, or maybe loss of life because of stuff like that happening, where a life could have been saved. And it's not that much more expensive, but all of our departments, in the fire department and in the police department, they're all first responder trained. And, you know, a lot of people question why everything goes out, you know, when you, which Dr. Henry, I'm sure, a lot of times there's not an ambulance that's there closed for paramedics, you know. We got everybody trained in our departments, and I think it's a good thing that the police goes and the fire goes to help. You know, you'll never know how bad the situation is or how bad a shape somebody's in. It's just like him talking about being there with that accident happening on the track this past weekend. And, you know, I think we've done the right thing getting all of our employees in those departments first responder trained to be able to do that. I mean, it's a matter of life and death a lot of times. But yeah, I agree with you.
Could I say something there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Down there where my office is, the ambulance service, and I'm not saying anything bad about the ambulance service, but I hear the fire truck and the police car coming. And it's generally 3 to 5 minutes before the ambulance go out.
Yeah.
So our response time is greater. Now, I'm assuming that everybody gets called at the same time.
No, I don't think it works like that, does it, Brett?
They got their dispatch ambulance, so.
Ambulance got their own dispatch.
Yeah, they got their own dispatch.
So they've got slack.
could be one. But, you know, the daily saws, you know, which I'm not knocking their department, daily, the light, the ambulance went through first, and then the fire truck coming behind it. I mean,
That's happening, you're right, but
yeah.
as a
That-
general road, as a general road.
That's why I don't think it hurts the fire and the police.
Oh, it's one,
Yeah. You know.
I questioned it at first.
Yeah.
Well, the main thing that I see is if it's your family, you don't care if they 75 vehicles.
That's right.
But if it's not, people's complaining. And the other night, it's sad, and I'm praying for the boy every day, and it was just an accident. But to see what I seen in Wade, I was very, very proud.
Yeah, I've witnessed a lot of what they do with fire and the police both at scenes like that, you know, working under record service and different things that they, people don't realize until you part, like you witnessed it, you know, and it brings it to realization what their job is and what they do. And,
Well, Mr. Hendry, we had an employee this Saturday morning have a heart attack, and that hospital took care of him better than anything I've ever seen. And there's things around people, I know they say bad things, but they need to realize when they need it, you don't hear them saying that. I mean, a lot of times they need to keep their thoughts to themselves. That's my personal opinion. There are
One of the
hospitals.
problems we experience in that ER is, you know, you've read in the paper, that Marion County has a high incidence of drug use. And we get a lot of folks that come in there and we have to turn them down. And then they go out and raise hell about the fact that we didn't serve them and we were terrible. And they put it on the internet. In fact, we did the right thing. So there's a lot of drug seekers coming in that ER and we can't please them and they're gonna go out angry. So that's what you're reading sometimes on the internet and hearing. Don't always assume it's bad care because most often it isn't.
Well, I talked to his wife this evening, and she told me he was in recovery within 2 hours when she flew in Mississippi. She brought him from Ewing to Winfield, and Winfield had him within, over there at Tupelo, and he was in recovery within 2 hours. That's unreal.
If I could, Mr. Mayor, we track all of those complaints and everything that we see on the internet. That's something that I do every day. And as soon as we see something on there that's bad, we track it down. We have records of every move that somebody makes from the time they come in that door. And 99% of the time when we track them down, our people did what they were supposed to do. More often than not, the chatter you see on the internet is, like Mr. Hendry said, it's somebody that didn't get what they wanted when they came in there. And the worst that come in are the ones that holler the loudest. And we fight it every day, but we investigate every one of them and we track them down and we find out. And, you know, if our people don't do something that they're supposed to do, we're gonna let them know about it too. But we find more times than not that they're doing what they're supposed to do and doing the right thing. And when you talk to these people, the actual way the situation was resolved is the way it should have been. And most of them are happy before it's over with. But they say stuff before they think about it. It's something we battle every day.
Yeah, and one, you know, another thing I'll touch on again is also on the hospitals is the turnover. Our employee turnover rate's very low. Because of, like I said, those people, some of those people have been there 30, 35 years and they know the hospital, and they know this community, and people know, I mean, it's got to be a good place to work for those people who've been there all this time. When things change hands, it goes to a real estate company and different things, it creates a problem that takes a while to overcome where things have been let go in different areas. But I'm sure what you're doing, tracking the complaints and what Dr. Hendry's doing to getting things back in order, I think we're headed in the right direction. Now, if we can just get up people to pay and insurance companies to do what they should be doing, and that, you know, a lot of people don't understand when we go to hospitals struggle, and it's because of money. The money, you know, it's about getting paid for the services that you do. And it's not necessarily because you're not turning and getting patients in or out, it's because you can't get paid for the ones you do bring in and take out. But anyway, that's another story.
But if we didn't have that hospital, we probably wouldn't have an ambulance service out around here either, to be 10 minutes, 5 minutes away from us.
Has anybody else got any other old business? If nobody's got nothing, we'll go on to the next item. The next item on the agenda is accounts payable. I just need to ask for a motion to pay the bills unless anybody's got any questions or comments on that. I need to ask for a motion to pay what we owe.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? All right, nobody else has got anything, I need to ask for a motion to adjourn. Tim made a motion, Anthony second, all in favor?
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/49 County News TV.